You're gonna hear something very different from, in the beginning, at least, from what you heard so far. I'm gonna tell a little bit about my story. That's my family and me going to a trip to Japan this past summer. It's a very different family. Kawe, the little boy there, he's 10. He joined my family when he was 6.5 years old. Gabriel just joined us as my son in July this year, 1 month before he turned 14. 2024 has been a very special year for me. We started with a big, not very good news, but a big challenge. I was diagnosed with cancer for the second time in my life, after being cancer-free for 15 years. It was a big shock, and I thought the whole world is, tearing apart and it's gonna be bad. In less than 1 month, I was recovered and resumed my normal activities. And then, in May, I received a call from the judge that we adopt the first kid, Kawe, and he said, you know what? Gabriel is ready for adoption. Gabriel is Kawe's biological brother. We tried to adopt both of them together, but we were not able to because Gabriel was already with another family. And that adoption process didn't go well, and we had the chance to receive this call and say, when I got the call, I was like, yes, he's my son. I'm picking him up. So we had planned this trip to Japan months before, right? But now we have a new addition to the team. And then we got him on board, and that's them in Disneyland, Tokyo. Because Brazil and Japan are so far apart, it takes 25 hours to travel from one country to the other. We decided to do a stop in Dubai. And we had good time there. And the most important thing was to show my kids that the world is much bigger than they had used to do or think about before. And then we headed over to Japan. And that's us eating very good food. Japan is fantastic. You need to put that in your list if you haven't been there. But why am I telling all of this story for you guys if I don't even know you? It's not because I just love my family. It's not because 2024 has been proven so far to be one of the best years of my life, but because it has a lot to do with what I want to talk about today. The real purpose of creating an inspiring and truly human-centric workspace. Back in 2021, we started a long journey at Sanofi to listen to our people, really try to understand what they think about the workspace, and then redesign it for the future. It has been a long, long road and a lot of bumps in the road, as you can imagine, but we created the personas, we did everything we had to do to come up with the first workplace strategy in 2022. It was a foundation. We need to rewrite everything that we wrote before in a nicer way, in a way that we want people to be proud of their workplace and create all the workspaces in Sanofi as a destination, not an obligation. And then after all these years, since 2022, we've been updating with everything that we heard and learned from different forums like this, what could be improved, and we update our workplace strategy. As we are talking about hybrid work, we could not forget about the journey touch points. And we understand that this journey is not a linear thing, right? It goes from, you start your work maybe in the morning in the office, and then you have to pick up your kids, and you go to the gym afterwards, and then so it's all kind of different. We're not the previous stage traditional working environment from 8 to 10, or from 8 to 5. Then we try to create this and educate our people how they can better navigate throughout these moments. And then what did we think that would be the success of workplace strategy for us? And I want to start with one question first. I'm pretty sure many of you work from home most of the time, either in a dining room or in an office or in your living room, and you're very happy with this, right? And we knew that. You have time for you to take care of your kids, have lunch with your family, go to the gym, do not waste time in traffic. Why come to the office? Right? And we knew that, and we decided not to fight against it. Because there's no way to fight against things that are good. But we can make the office more attractive so that we can bring people back into our sites. So what we created was a lot of redesign on the look and feel that would make you create the space that would make you feel more home, that brings the local community, but also provides the global environment that we want to create. We want people to feel closer or home, like at home, but also that the organization that has within the workplace would fulfill your needs. So with adjustable tables, for example. And we want people to feel energized and inspired by being there, by talking to their friends. And of course, the technology is something that makes a lot of difference in everybody's life, and it needs to work all the time so we can. Technology needs to be better than what you have at home, so it forces you to come, right? It improves the experience there. And then I want to come up with a very special day in an office. Think about it's Tuesday and you wake up and you think you want to go to the office. You open your app, you make a parking reservation, and then you look at the weather and it's like, the weather is so nice, maybe I'm going to just to ride the bike to the office. You get there, you see this amazing place, natural light, biophilia, good look and feel, very welcoming. And then you hear a music and a scent, a signature scent that represents that you are at Sanofi, that you are a home away from home. Then you grab your coffee, maybe you pre-order your breakfast when you were at home, reserving your parking or meeting space, and then you grab your coffee, you see friends around the office, you choose your place to work, and you read some emails, and then it's time for you to have lunch. And you know I'm talking a lot about food here, huh? And we are a pharma company. You go to have lunch, you call your friend, and then you decide what you want to eat. But that's a very different experience from the previous cafeteria that you used to have. So you go to that place, and you see quality food, nice presentation, plating. It's a different experience. It's more related to a nice restaurant than the traditional cafeteria, or as many of us are used to, you grab your sandwich and go back to your desk and keep working because you have a lot of meetings, right? But you're having a meeting with your colleague there in a very nice and different way. So time flies, you spend more than an hour having lunch, and it's time for you to go back to your activities and maybe go to your team meeting in the room that you reserved in the beginning of the day. That looks perfect, right? But is it really everything perfect? Okay, just one thing that I want to clarify. All these pictures are real. And these are from our Sanofi offices. It's not always perfect. And I will tell you a story that happened in one of our offices here in the US, one of our flagship sites. When we decided to open, we decided to go fully digital because we thought, hey, that's the future. We need to be fully digital, right? So we, in the food piece, we decided to take all the cashiers out. Let's put an app. Everybody order the food, grab their food and just go. So they don't have to interact with a lot of people. They will do it all through the phone. And the idea was great, right? And we had our workplace app, and we didn't have time to fully integrate the food app into the workplace app, which was a big mistake. And then we opened the office. We received plenty of complaints. It was terrible because we missed the human part. We understood afterwards that people like to talk to John, and because he knows what I like in my sandwich. He knows and that interaction, we just took it away from everybody without even asking them. The good thing at Sanofi, we have this mindset of thoughtful risk-taking. So we are empowered to make decisions, but at the same time, we're empowered to correct them when they don't go right. And remember, I talked a lot about food. After the first release of our workplace strategy, we didn't pay attention to food in the beginning. We understood that food can be one of the most important components to bring people back to the office. Not because it's free food, but using food as a way to connect our employees. And then we are redefining The type of food, the quality, the service, the plating, everything that goes along with food to make your food experience the best one, and then the rest will come along. Since we launched the workplace strategy, we added 3 questions into our global employee survey, global employee engagement survey. And we understood that health and well-being is one of the top priorities for us. A lot of people talk about health and well-being, but also about work-life balance and sustainability. In Sanofi, there is a guideline that says that we need to go to the office 50% of our time. That means 2 or 3 days a week. That's nice. But what happens, as we already mentioned today, a lot of people come to the office Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then we have our operation on Mondays and Fridays empty, so the service quality goes down. Depending on the country, we shut down some floors, and then we're stuck with a feeling of, this is really good. Am I going back on Monday or Fridays to the office? Never, because the service is not there. The food is not the same quality. So we decided to create a pilot in one site in France to come up with a brunch every Friday. And it's free. The utilization of that office increased by 30%. And you know what people do? They're not going there for meetings and working like the traditional way. They go on Friday to the office. They might read some emails in the beginning, go to the nice restaurant, get their brunch with a lot of people. They get together, they laugh, they spend more than 1 hour and a half, 2 hours there. And then they go back, read a few more emails, and go home. But that was our goal, because we want people to be in the office to collaborate, to learn the culture, to be together, and not to be sitting in a phone booth by yourself 8 hours a day. And then the other topic that we mentioned that is important is that we discovered is that we were just targeting accessibility on the first topic, physical. But we never thought about all the different disabilities of the people and how we could embrace the population. And that's when we started in 2022. Sanofi made a commitment to have 100% of our sites fully accessible by the end of 2025. We're in this journey right now, and it's being challenged, but very good, and we're sure that we're going to get there. But what about data? We have over 140 different locations, different sites, different landlords, different types of buildings, different systems. How do you collect all the... if someone has a magical idea to make all the data connect very easily, tell me, because we struggled for over 2 years to get this data, some data correct. But we got there. We got a lot of... one thing that we did is to partner with good global providers to standardize our processes and making sure that we're not testing different things all the time in different locations, then we cannot connect all the data. But now we have the data. This is just a dashboard that shows a little bit of everything that we're doing for Sanofi. So we have data for the lockers, for utilization, for lease management, portfolio, satisfaction, air quality, everything that you can imagine, we have the data. Is it for all of the sites? Some data, yes, some data, not yet. And maybe it won't be possible due to each specific situation. But going back to my main topic, emotions. I mean, I shared with you my personal story, and that's the first time I do it on the stage. I was talking to Jason, and I was like, you gotta record this, because this is the first time I talk about my family to, an audience. But why does this matter? Because when people are the center of an organization. If we don't take care of people, we're not taking care of... you can make the most beautiful office in the world, but if you're not looking at the employee individually, and if they don't feel committed to that organization, it doesn't matter. They're not going to go to the office. Creating groups like affinity groups, ERG communities, cancer and work, these are all different programs that we have at Sanofi, and that makes you feel connected to it. It creates a true, authentic, and loyal relationship with the company. And that is what brings people together again. So don't think about only the design. They are all important, the technology, everything that we talked about here. But if you don't put people in the beginning of the conversation, you're doing it wrong. I got 2 questions for you. First, what are you most proud of? And I can say I heard a lot of good things here today and this morning. And what I'm very proud of as part of leading an organization that we call workplace transformation is that we came out of our siloed work from real estate and facility management or workplace experience, and we became part of a full organization. We do not believe that any new office is part of one single real estate project anymore. We believe it's a co-creation of people and culture, digital, the business, and all the other procurement, HS&E, and everybody else that supports that are support functions for an organization as large as Sanofi. And my last question before I end, what is your purpose in life? I shared the story with you guys because when I start working back in, I'm not going to say the year because then you're going to see that I have no hair for a reason. I was a receptionist in one big company. And I used to look at everybody, all the big executives, and I was like, they never have time to talk to anyone. They never shared anything because they were always in the office. And I thought that was so bad because I was a young guy with an aspiration of, I want to take over the world, but I could not talk to someone. They were not reachable. And I decided to do one thing in life, to use what I can do best, which is real estate and workplace, in favor to connect these people together and to create a better world for my kids. They will be able to talk to a high executive even when they are still in college. I see this happening nowadays at Sanofi where we don't have any more assigned seatings. We see high-level executives sitting next to an intern and talking to them during the coffee or a lunch, an informal lunch. And that's what I want for my kids and for all the kids. Thank you.
Wow, Fernando, thank you so much.